Here's a full Reddit-style betrayal story, 1,000 words, based on your title, dramatic and tense. I still remember the way she was sitting. Her legs crossed elegantly on the couch, glass of wine in hand, smiling at him the way she used to smile at me, before everything changed, before the trust cracked, before I realized that the woman I married for 12 years, the woman I trusted more than anyone, had been living a double life. Her name is Emily. Her lover, Mark, was sprawled next to her, casually leaning back as if he owned the space. The casual intimacy between them made my stomach twist. This wasn't a secret rendezvous anymore. It was comfortable, normal, accepted. And there I was, standing in the doorway, heart hammering, hands shaking, holding a small velvet box, my wedding ring. I had rehearsed this moment 1,000 times in my head, how I'd demand answers, how I'd storm out in fury, how I'd confront them both and make her regret every choice. But when I finally stood there, looking at them, something inside me shifted. Not anger, not grief, clarity. I walked slowly into the room. "Emily," I said, voice calm but firm. She looked up, startled, as if my presence had broken a spell. "Hey, what are you doing here?" she asked, surprised but not alarmed. I didn't answer immediately. I opened the box and pulled out the ring. It glinted under the soft light of the living room. I held it between my fingers and looked at her. "This," I said, voice steady, "was meant for you." Her eyes widened. Mark leaned forward, curiosity mixed with caution. "I'm giving it to you," I continued, "because I can't keep it anymore. Because the woman I married isn't here. The woman I trusted isn't here. And the life we promised each other is gone." Emily opened her mouth, but no words came. She was stunned. Mark shifted, clearly uncomfortable, sensing the tension he wasn't part of. I placed the ring gently on the coffee table, not angrily, not slamming it down, carefully, like a professional handing over a tool that's no longer needed. And then I said the words that had been burning inside me for months. "I see you for who you are." I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I simply walked toward the door. My chest ached, but my mind was sharp. This was not about revenge. This was about reclaiming myself. Emily tried to call after me. "Wait, don't go!" I paused at the door, looking back once. Her face was pale, confused, panicked. Mark looked equally unsettled. "I'm done," I said quietly. Then I left. The first few days afterward were surreal. I didn't go home. I didn't pack my things yet. I needed space to breathe, to think, to process the reality of what had happened. Friends asked if I wanted to confront her. I didn't. I had seen enough. I had proof enough. Her actions had spoken louder than any confrontation ever could. What I needed was to rebuild myself, not dismantle her world. Weeks later, the legal proceedings began. Emily tried to claim innocence, to spin the story that it was just a phase or a mistake. But I had clarity now. I didn't need to argue. I had my evidence, and more importantly, I had my truth. During the divorce, she tried to negotiate for more than she deserved. I stayed calm, methodical, and precise. Every document, every financial account, every property line, I had prepared for months. Because betrayal like hers doesn't just hurt emotionally, it threatens your life practically too. I walked out of the courthouse that day lighter than I had in years. Not happy, not relieved, but lighter. Months passed. I moved into a smaller apartment, started a new project at work, and began focusing on my own growth. No dating, no distractions, just rebuilding. Emily and Mark disappeared from my life as if they had never existed. Her betrayal faded in impact because I refused to carry it with me. I had handed it back in the form of my dignity, the ring. And then something unexpected happened. A year later, I ran into a mutual friend. She asked about Emily. "She's miserable," the friend said. "Mark didn't turn out to be what she expected. And she keeps talking about how she lost something real." I smiled faintly, not out of gloating, not out of revenge, But because I realized the most powerful consequence of betrayal isn't punishment, it's living well in spite of it. The ring sits on my desk now, not as a reminder of her, but as a symbol of my choice. I gave it to her, not out of weakness, but because I finally understood some things cannot be fixed. Some relationships cannot be saved once trust is gone. She chose her lover, I chose myself, and in the end, the difference between us is simple. She lost me. I didn't lose myself.